Hey, there we go. Morning, afternoon, evening. Hope you're safe. I really do. Hope you're keeping each other safe. I really do. So there's something I wanted to. I really was going to just be done for the day. But something came up. I posted a piece, which I've also posted to my page. I'm apologize. I'm scrolling on another device. Um, from Scientific American that says we'll never fix systemic racism by being polite. And I got a response to that, which was a very polite response. I want to say that first. Like, a very polite response. Um, and I responded with a little spice, but like I did it because I felt that the response that I got merited um, some gentle correcting, I'll say. Gentle correcting. At least that's what I consider it. I don't disagree with this person exactly because I don't know what their stance or stances are. So it made it difficult to respond. But I want to read that response. First, the person's response, and then my response to that, because um, I this is a thing I find myself saying a lot lately. So I just want to jump on it. And I don't mean jump on it like I mean I want to express this so that hopefully this is a thing we can talk about more in depth rather than just constantly staying at the starting line. Awesome. So this person whose name I'm going to leave out because I don't want to shame them. Uh, there are many things I agree with you on. I also disagree with you on some things and how they are best accomplished. I think you have more allies here in town than you realize, and I'm glad you and your husband Will are a part of our town. Okay, so that's what the person said. Awesome. See, like nothing mean or disrespectful, or at least on the surface, is nothing. Um, I'm gonna read my response and then I'm gonna say why I said what I said. This is my response. Will is my friend. I'm single. Respectfully, if I had allies and don't, or if I have allies and don't know it, they're poor allies. I am, right now, limited to where I can go in town based entirely on my race. No one but me has acted. I can appreciate sentiment, intention, and personal affinity, but none of those things has made East Haslam any less racist. Again, to the extent that I can express such a thing respectfully, I don't want nor need allies. I want freedom. In that, I think, lies the most fundamental of American dreams and desires. So much so that allyship is rendered performative and self congratulatory. I don't count myself an ally of children, even though I vigorously resist and drive out pedophiles. To me, that is the role of any responsible community member. That we continue to confer honorifics on moderate whites who have yet to muster the political will to protect the few black folk in town is dismaying. Moreover, the presumption of my knowledge of allies and the validity of your disagreements are frankly stunning. If white people wanted racism over, it would be over. Indeed, it is white people who profit most from its persistence. This is why allyship, in my view, constitutes a deviation from normative behavior. The work qualifies the person, not the word. Therefore, the claim that there are allies that I don't know about, whilst I install security cameras and endure being banned because of my race, is at a minimum a curious one. To wit, what good does it serve me to know that there are people unwilling to publicly confront the greatest moral evil America has allowed to persist virtually unchallenged for hundreds of years? I find that people in East Haddam tend to rest in their own personally qualified designation of ally rather than discovering what they can and should do. I've seen far more self-congratulatory signs than action. I watch daily as allies do nothing. My racist neighbor harasses me with zero consequences. Yet, I'm told an unknown contingent exists, and that is supposed to be encouraging. Will isn't my husband. I'm sure that idea came from a noble place, but it's counterfactual. Moreover, I'd invite you to re-examine your covert disagreements and why you choose to summon the specter of unseen allies while not engaging me openly. Thanks. So that was my response. Real quick, because I'm not going to a whole thing. Um, I'm really exhausted with people telling me how many good people there are out there while I deal with bullshit. I'm really exhausted with people more concerned with me acknowledging that there are people out there on my side than they are with actually getting on my side. White people in particular, this is where y'all tend to fuck up the most. Y'all will show up, but you want like every kind of award and everything, and you don't want your feelings touched. You don't want, nope, I want none of that. I want to be a part of this fight, but I don't want any bruises or scratches or nothing. And I want every nigga around me to do a dance and confirm, and I want them to not say these words or those words. That's what it comes down. Like, that's what I hear when I hear allyship, is there are white people with expectations of you. There are white people who will help you, but first. There are white people who want to fight racism and confront it, but, right? There's all of these buts. There's all of these, well, you're going to alienate people. How? You're gonna drive people away from your cause. Isn't it our cause? I find the objections of these of allies, or at least these objections coming from so-called allies, to be suspect just off the muscle. And if you don't know what that means just outright. They make no sense. It makes no sense to me for an ally to ask for politeness. Like, I daily face the greatest moral evil America has concocted and allowed to exist. And you want me to say, sir? You want me to do the politeness dance? Like, I'm literally fighting for my life, actually, not metaphorically, actually. But while I'm doing that, in order to earn your allyship, I have to be a certain level of niceness. I'll say that just reveals a couple of things. One, you're not an ally. I'd just like to say, if you require politeness on any level, you're not an ally. It means that politeness supersedes the absolute atrocity of racism. It means that the cost for you of getting rid of racism is, first, niggas gotta dance for you. I know you don't feel that way. I know you think it's just, no, there's just a certain amount of BS I won't put up with. Oh, okay, cool, because you're putting up with racism. No, I'm not. Is racism still around? Yeah. So the idea that we have to find these black people who are performing politely to team up with, and that the ones that aren't behaving, quote unquote, we should avoid or at least chide them for their behavior, rather than recognizing that being black comes with a host of experiences, including a shitload of negative ones, especially white people saying, I'm on your side, while they're stabbing you. But they want you to overcome all of that because they're special. This individual person is just so special, and I don't see it. That's the problem, is that black people just aren't seeing their allies. Y'all, that's bullshit. It's bullshit. I don't really want to get into the whole long drawn out thing of why it's bullshit, but it's bullshit. If you're an ally, that means you're on my side, yeah? If you're on my side, I can see you. I'm not blind. I'm not. I can see racists just like you can. Matter of fact, I can see racists better than you can. I can see racism better than you can. So it stands to reason I'd be able to identify allies, and that they wouldn't be out there secretly doing nothing, because racism is still, America is still as racist today as it was yesterday, yeah? 6 months ago, still as racist? Yeah. So whatever these secret allies are up to, it's not working. Whatever kind of concoction or convention they're having, it doesn't include me, so they're not allies. You see how this works? Like, on almost every level, it's like, how can you be my ally and I don't know about you? How? And then why don't I know about you? Why don't you make yourself known? Why don't you collaborate? Like, it begs a million questions. But I don't want to get too far off the path. The path being, unknown allies aren't allies. I'm sorry. They aren't. Make yourselves known. Because they know who I am. No? They definitely know who I am. I don't get to be a hidden ally. I don't get to use white privilege and get to say, oh, I'm for racial equality, but also I'm not going to publicly. I don't get to do that. I have to be black everywhere I go, at all times. So this secret ally thing I don't want to chide anybody for it, and I'm not hand slapping. I'm really not. I know it sounds like it, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, there's no such thing as a secret ally. There isn't. This isn't G.I. Joe. Like, this is not a video game. There's no such thing as a secret ally. If you're an ally, I'd know about it. How? Oh, because you'd be fighting racism openly. Why? Because fighting racism covertly is a part of the way that racism is allowed to persist. What? Yeah, we have many, many examples of that. Go ahead and Google it. Right? Like whatever your personal resistance stance is, I'm not trying to disrespect that. I'm just saying you're calling yourself an ally. I want to see who's black that's calling you an ally. I want to see who's female or who's trans that's calling you an ally. Because you calling yourself an ally, to me, honestly, is ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous. And we don't need that honorific. We don't. Why? Because we use that word and it's supposed to be a joiner. And really what it does is it divides the oppressed people from the people that should be doing work. No? If we say that they're human rights, then we stop talking about this ally shit and we start talking about us. If we say that they're equal rights for everyone, we stop talking about allyship like that, and we start talking about us and what we need to do. We're largely not doing that. We're seeing the same thing that we saw in the 60s. White folks stepping up to a park and then explaining to black people, number one, to be polite, number two, to behave in certain ways, and then three, and this is my favorite, specious and false claims of special knowledge on how to dismantle racism that just hasn't ever been deployed by white people. Yeah, they claim to know the better way of doing this. We've been at this for centuries in passing down knowledge, but white folk who are allies are claiming that they have the secret sauce now, and the reason we're not getting it is because we're not polite enough. Y'all don't see the racism in that just right away? Just right away? No? Okay. There's no such thing as secret allies. And there's no such thing as polite war. I want freedom, not friends. And I know that that's difficult for some of y'all to hear or feel, even in certain moments. I don't doubt that. But that does not change my mission. It does not change what I'm here to do. It just doesn't. I'm not about to get caught up in some soap opera drama because I dropped an F-bomb. I'm not. I'm concerned about freedom and heading that way. And if you think that my work is counterproductive, good for you. If you think that what I'm saying and my attitude or my tone or anything else is counterproductive, good for you. I know better than you. I've been black this whole time. So if we're talking about confronting racism or aggression against people of color, I've had to survive it and have successfully for 40 years. Maybe, just maybe, I know a little bit more than you about what the right strategies are. I'm saying that with love, honestly. Even though it seems spicy, I'm saying that with love. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope that quote doesn't, it just occurring to me now that the quote might call out the person who posted it, and I apologize if that happens. I don't intend that at all. It just brought to the fore something that I've been trying to articulate for a long time. And then in my response, I was able to find not only that response, but then some other things that I want to articulate. So really the person that said what they said, like, thank you. I really appreciate it. I think some of these presumptions have to be pulled out into the light and challenged, and we need to have discussions about them. It doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't. It means we should talk about it. We should talk about these things instead of just granting them, especially allyship. I think that's going to be a stumbling block for a lot of people, is they're going to want their medal, their participation trophy for showing up for racism instead of recognizing it's their moral duty. Like, you're either pro-human or you're not. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for listening. I know I rambled a little bit, but I think I said what I needed and wanted to say. Thank you again to the person who posted that post. It really kind of brought everything like right to the exact place where I'm able to talk about it, was able to like articulate that response and then like this amendment to it. I'm gonna head out and watch more Cobra Kai, y'all. It is fire. I'm not gonna spoil it. It's amazing. Thank you everybody for your support and for listening. I'll talk to you soon.